Hey guys, so it's my birthday and I wanted to share a few things with y'all. All right, let's get to it. Hey, well, let me get situated here. Got one of my most favorite 2022 favorites, which is a strawberry smoothie. So I got my strawberry smoothie with almond milk because I don't want to get, you know what I mean? So we're just gonna stick to almond milk. And it's good, it's delicious. It like perks me up each time. It's better than coffee for me. Let's dive into these 2022 favorites. I said that like 3 times and it sounded terrible each time. First is books. Look at this little Santa hat. Little Santa hat right here. And my little fisherman Chris Evans Knives Out sweater. It's drying. Don't pay attention to this. Just don't pay attention to this. Probably my favorite book of all time is The Street by Miss Ann Petrie. This book floored me. It knocked me down. It talks about the story of a Black woman named Ludi and her son Bub, and she's just trying to make it. She's trying to make the best life for her son. She's trying to get out of poverty. She's doing her damnedest. And spoiler warning, it doesn't work out. So it shows how hard it is to be a Black woman in the 40s and trying to get out of poverty, especially if you have a child, and especially if you have a deadbeat husband and the men around you are all misogynist and people around you are so racist as well as misogynist. And like I've never felt so seen. It's just like, wait, like this book was written in the 40s and I feel like people are still going through this stuff today. I felt so seen with this book. Like, it's so good. And of course the prose and the way that Ann Petrie writes is beautiful, and all the so-called side characters get their own backstory. This story is fully fleshed out. Nothing is left undetailed. It is so good. Gosh, it's good. I would read it again, but I was very traumatized by the ending, so I will not. So this is like my favorite book, probably favorite book of all time, The Street by Ann Petrie. A next book that was really good, I haven't bought it though, Crying at H Mart by Michelle Zauner. She's the lead singer of the musical group Japanese Breakfast. This book talks about her relationship with her mother mostly through how they connected over food. But it talks about her relationship with her mother from the beginning and being her mother's caretaker while her mother is dying. This isn't really focusing so much on her music career, so much as how her mother's relationship affected her relations and connections with other people, with her music, with food, with her culture, because she is Korean and white, and the Korean comes from her mother's side, and how she really took to heart those trips to Korea and how she connected with her family there, and how the way she was treated was different in South Korea compared to the way she was treated in America. The way she relays her mother's relationship is really beautiful and heartbreaking, and you see it's not just, oh, me and my mom get along all the time. It's like, no, like me and my mom, we weren't each other's best friends all the time, but I loved her so. Like, it was just the way she just was so real about it. It was like the nuances in that relationship, how difficult it can be to have that parent-child relationship where you know that they love you deep down and on the surface, but you're still like fighting to just get each other to see where the other is coming from. It's really, really good. The next one is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I told myself I'm gonna read more Toni Morrison, and The Bluest Eye broke me, so I took a break from trying to read more Toni Morrison. It follows mostly this girl. It's been a while since I read it, so forgive me. Once again, you think these people are like side characters, but everybody gets their own fleshed out backstory, and it mainly focuses on this girl, Piccolo. She is the person that everybody loves to throw under the bus in this small town. She's literally minding her own business. She's doing her best to survive, and people are coming at her because she's easy to bully, she's easy to push around. And it shows how people don't really look out for Black girls, especially in that time. It takes place a few decades prior. It shows how the mental care of Black men go unnoticed, how the misogyny takes toll on Black women and Black girls. It's Toni Morrison, so it's written beautifully. It's masterful work. I don't want to read that book again because I finished it and I was like, oh my god. Trigger warning, child abuse, and sexual assault. You want to be in a good headspace. The last 3 books I mentioned, you want to be in a good headspace for them. I'm so sorry. I don't know what was wrong with me this year. I guess I just love pain. For some more lighthearted, lighter reads, one was Writers and Lovers by Lily King. It's about a novelist trying to get her first book out. It takes place in Massachusetts, and her trying to get her first book out while dealing with the fact that her mother just passed away. Again, I'm with the sadness, but it's really, I just like the take. It takes place in the 90s, and it talks about just the relationship with creating and how to deal with creating while grieving and going through loss, because her mother just passed away. The guy she loved left or abandoned her, and she's navigating these new relationships with that in the back of her mind and trying to trust people again, and the fact that her father was this disgusting person that she had to confront. Again, talks about how our familiar relationships affect how we connect with other people and how we may create. So I thought that was really good. The last book I'd like to recommend, that was one of my favorites of 2022, Actor Age Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. Yeah. And it was really good. Finally, something fun. Because, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose, so don't mind me. It talks about this wealthy, kind of socialite girl named Eve Brown, and her parents are so sick of her not being able to commit to a job, so they cut her off. And she kind of retaliates and just like, you know, you cut me off, I'm leaving. So she takes off, and she randomly finds this bed and breakfast by this guy, Jacob. Sorry, it's been a while since I've read this book too. I'm so sorry. He's autistic. He says he's autistic. But I like this book because it doesn't show autism on just, it's supposed to be a spectrum. So it shows autism on different parts of the spectrum, which, spoiler alert, includes Eve, who kind of later on in the book finds out that she is on the spectrum. She's autistic like Jacob, but not like Jacob, which I thought was really cool. The more we get into this book, the more we see the different sides of autism and how it may look on different people. So I thought that was cool. I thought the romance and the build was really good. The fact that Eve Brown randomly finds this beautiful bed and breakfast run by this really hot dude is really interesting. He's very type A, which is fine. It was just a nice, like, fun read. It was something lighter after all these really heavy books. I need to read more light books in the next year. I'm gonna make sure I do that. Okay, so for TV, Tika and Buri, rest in peace. Let's pour one out. Not this. I made this. We're keeping it. The Witcher? I think Witcher came out the year before. Whatever. I love The Witcher. Bob's Burgers kept me going. And Rick and Morty. I really liked it. And if we go on, music, Renaissance by Beyonce. Need I say more? I don't. Let's move on. If you haven't seen my cover, you should. Selfless plug. Shameless plug. I'm struggling. It's fine. It's fine. Laurel Hell by Mitski. That was my soundtrack for late winter, early spring this year. SOS by SZA. We finally get some SZA music. And it's so good. Who else has been overplaying Kill Bill? Blue Water Road by Kehlani and Melt. Melt Into You, so good. I love that song. It's such a beautiful song. Concerts. I didn't go to too many concerts this year. I just went to like 3. First one I went to was Twice. Yep, K-pop girl group, Twice. It was a great concert. Started on time, ended on time. It flowed really well. That was my first time going to a K-pop concert. I dragged my friend Kelsey with me. Shout out to Kelsey, thank you so much. And we just had a great time. We just had a really, really good time. Second, I went to see JoJo, also with my friend Kelsey and some of her friends. And gosh, JoJo can sing. And that was really good. It was good seeing her on stage again. I really can't wait until more people get into JoJo, so that way we can finally see her at a venue with seats. I want to sit down. No more standing room only. I want to sit. People support JoJo. Next, Lady Gaga. I went to go see this with my friend Mark. Well, we bought tickets at separate times. We didn't see it sitting like side to side, but we went there together and left together. It was such a fun time going to a concert with my friends. Like all these concerts I've been to with friends. Huh. I usually go alone, so that was interesting. That was cool to do this year. Again with lifestyle, Vaseline. It's my go-to. It's my moisturizer. It's my everything. I love it. This is my sunscreen I've been using. Love this. I will never stop using this. My mental health is slightly better than last year. Last year, I went to some really dark places. I'm gonna keep it light here, but I'm on medication. We're doing much better than we were last year. Another favorite, let me make sure it's covered up. My meds. I love feeling stable during the day. I stop having cyclical thoughts. I feel lighter. I'm everybody's different, so don't let this, influence you either way or whatever. I'm just saying for me, that has really, I have makeup on the shirt. Don't look at it. Oh my God. It has really been good for me. We moved apartments, so I'm doing better than last year. I got a nice sized room and it's in a quieter neighborhood, more expensive. I can't complain. I mean, I can, but I won't right now. I've written pretty much an album. I'm still writing and stuff like that, but I've written I've written so many songs this year. especially with the help of my good friend Kelsey. So the shout out to Kelsey, thank you so much. And hopefully that album will come out next year. So we'll see. So that's one of my favorites, was the writing that I was able to get into and the lengths of my creativity that I was able to reach. So I'm very thankful for that. I got to see my family more, but the goal for next year is to see them even more. So now that things are like open and running, I really want to see my family more. Let's see what else is like a favorite. Mango slices. I need to stop eating them because my doctor says mangoes are too sugary, but these are so good and they make me feel, they give me, just makes me feel happier. And that's what I need. I need as much happiness as I can get. My berets. I have them in so many different colors. Let me show you. I have it in black. I have it in turquoise. I have it in, lighter turquoise, and I have it in fuchsia. I have so many. I love these berets. I got them from Etsy. Also, shout out to journaling. Journal, you're a real one this whole year. Thank you for your service. Because I promise, if I talk to my friends half as much as I talk to you, they would combust, because no human should have to put up with that. Come with me to the bathroom. My skin, as you can see, is going through it. So Cetaphil, or the Target store brand equivalent, has been a lifesaver. It's been getting my skin back on balance, as well as a longtime favorite, benzoyl peroxide cleaner, face wash, whatever you want to call it. And then we have Dove body wash for sensitive skin. I can't get much of floral smelly stuff because it just aggravates my skin. Speaking of smoothies, one of these. This is not sponsored. You see the amount of people who watch my videos. How could this be sponsored? But yeah, this type of machine saved my butt. I love this machine. This is one of my favorites. I use this almost every day. Probably shouldn't. Oh well. All right, and then look at this. So yeah, the New York Flute Club Flute Flair. All right, here we go. But I did that, and I got to actually interview Valerie Coleman for their newsletter that was coming out that month. And I actually got to speak. I got to speak about something that like really affects me and my performance, which is performance anxiety and stage fright. I got to speak on that. That's really, I never thought I'd get to do something like that. I got to combine my mental health awareness along with my music, so that meant a lot to me, and that was something I was able to do at the Flute Fair this past year, and that's one of my favorite things. It's so cool. Another cool thing I got to record. That was pretty awesome. I got to do a live vinyl recording of some original songs, so this was pretty cool. I did it with this organization called Least of All Records, and it was just a really nice experience. I'm really glad, and hopefully I get to do it again. I do like to smell good, so I like to use, I've been using this since like high school. I stopped because Donna Karen said some real goofy things, and I was like, girl, I can't support this. After she apologized, I gave her kind of a break, and then I get back to it. So I went back to it, and it's DKNY Be Delicious. It smells, it's like green apple and floral and light, and that's the kind of smell I like. I don't really like masculine or like heavy, musky scents. I'm more into like floral and stuff like that, which is what I like. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for tuning in to my most favorites of 2022. Hopefully 2023, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm just going to be like, we don't know. We can make assumptions, but we won't know. But thank you for joining me. It was cool to that. I didn't realize, sometimes you got to really take a step back and realize how much you did that year. And I feel like I did a lot. I'm really excited. And I'm just hoping life continues on so I can keep experiencing things and learning from things. Like I said, I don't want to jinx next year, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep living life. I don't know what else to say except that. And I hope life continues to treat you well. And if it's giving you a rough time, I hope it gets better for y'all. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.